Hello and welcome back. This is day 2, week 2, also known as day 9 of Launch Your Internet Business, cruising right along. Today we're going to focus on WordPress and writing good posts, particularly those that are search engine friendly. We will start with log into your WordPress dashboard. I wanted to show here a good example of plugins. I've got one that has got a new one available. You can see the little badge on the side. It's going to tell you when there's things to be done. So if I click on plugins, it's going to come here. It's going to say, hey, I can do something or not. I'm going to go ahead and update it. It will update, assuming you've got all your permissions correctly. I'm not sure why that's in there. And I'm set to go. So now I'm all updated. And if I come in, I'll see that everything is up to date. Now, let's flip over to a post. And I'm going to go back to my first post. Now, we talked a little bit about the Yoast SEO down here. And we want to walk through that. So if I'm going to create a post, we're going to say something like this. This is a post I am using to test out my writing skills. How about that? And okay, so that's a paragraph. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say this is a header. And I'm going to select that little section and make that a heading 2. And now, as you're writing, I want you to note a couple little things here. Is that you've got the red and the orange down here. They should be green, ideally. And if they're not, if you scroll down, you can see what the problems are. So for right now, I'm going to see that the focus keyword does not appear in the first paragraph of the copy. Well, my focus keyword was first. So now, when I put first in there, see now I've got 3 problems. No meta description has been specified. So I want to come in here and edit the snippet and create a meta description. So let's see, this is I want to use that keyword first. So this is my first post on my site. I am testing out the available tools for SEO and okay, so notice that here, when you're creating your meta description, it's through SEO, through Yoast SEO, and it's not, other tools may not have this, but see, this is orange right now. Once I get to a certain length, it's going to go green. If I keep going, somewhere in here, it's going to fill up. And then it's going to go red. And that means it's gotten too big. So ideally, you want it into this green zone kind of area. So I'm going to get that done. Close my snippet editor. Now I've only got 2 problems left. Okay, text contains 29 words. They recommend at least 300. So let me just steal some email text here and push this to the bottom. And hopefully, let's do it like that. There we go. So now I'm up to 146 words. Let's take that same thing. Well, let's just do this. Let's take all of that stuff and let's paste that in. And now you'll notice that, so that problem disappeared. Notice that I went green at this point. And basically now it's saying, hey, here's a couple problems, but they're obviously not enough because it's basically green. These are some minor problems at this point. And I've got some improvements here. So like I can see I've got 4. One of them's I've not used the focus keyword. And if I put the word first, my keyword in there, notice now it's going to have 3 down here. It's the only 3 improvements. But you don't go better than a green. Now on the readability side, that one's a little more difficult. It's going to tell you some things like one subheading is followed by more than recommended of 300 words. So if I do this and I create a couple of headings, so this is going to be pasted text. Oops, and it's got to be of a heading type. So I'm going to make this because heading 2 makes the most sense. Heading 1 is automatically going to be set up on your articles in WordPress. And then if I go, let's see, where did that start at? It started, thing was like CD var, so somewhere down here. Where is that at? Oh, maybe that's the same thing. Oh, because I did that twice. So let's see. Is it still warning me? Yeah, so now it's not warning me anymore because I put enough headers in there. It contains 2 instances where 4 more consecutive sentences start with the same word. Now, you're going to see this sometimes. If you do... oh, it's not showing it. Let's see if it'll show it on this one. Well, usually what it is it's going to be here. It would show up because I've pasted some code. So you may run into that sometimes. The other one, this is 1.5% contain a transition word, which is less than the recommended minimum of 30%. So you can see there where that's the only one that's got a transition word. And there's some other things out there because it's going to say good. You want it to be easy to read. And it does an auto grading on this flesh reading ease test. It's got a number of words we've already talked about, having long paragraphs which are too long, long sentences, and passive voice. In each of those, if you have something that's not in passive voice, which I don't have anything really useful there, it will actually suggest to you some changes as well. So you can... I will help you clean stuff up. Once you do that, notice that when I got to 2 problems, it went from it went to an orangish, and if I eventually can get some other stuff here cleaned up, then I'll end up having some better text. So let's see. I don't have a good one. Here we go. Let's take this and steal that instead, and let's see what happens to our article. So now if I do pasted text and I get rid of all of that and I replace it, notice that now I'm green and green, green and green up here. And so I've got myself an article that is technically and grammatically looking good, plus it is search engine friendly. When you create your post, like right now, I've already published this one in the past, so I could actually change it to put it in draft or waiting for a review. I'm going to leave it at published. Visibility, I could actually put it to password protected or private, which is basically going to make it so it's only somebody that's a member of the site, somebody that's been registered. I can set a publishing date, so I could actually set this to some date in the future, and it's not going to be available until that date and that time. This is excellent when you're queuing posts up. It tells me my readability and SEO are good, and then once I'm done, I can do an update. And when I do that, I could go in and let me get rid of these little guys here. I can do my posts. I can view it. And here we go. So here is my post on my site. Now you notice here it's got this nice little ugly post name. What we would like to do is come in here, and if you go to settings, general, you can see that there's different ways that you can set this stuff up. I can do it, when I do permalinks. So if I go settings, permalinks, there's these different links. This is the one we've got right now. So it's got this, basically the name of my site and then the post number and an ID. I can do it with a day and name. I can do it a month and name. I can do numeric, or I can do it by post name. I like post name because then it gives me something like, this would be HMB/my first post. It's much more SEO friendly. And when I do that, it's going to tell you down here when you save that probably your .htaccess file is not available. And so what it needs to do is you're going to have to copy this little text and you're going to have to create them. So if you go in there and you copy and paste it, and you got a couple of things that you're going to have to worry about. So we're going to jump over to our server. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to enable a thing called mod rewrite. So we're going to cd into there, and we go into the root of our folder, and we're going to see there is no .htaccess file here, which is easy enough. I can do a vi.htaccess. If I hit I, it puts me in insert mode, paste my text in, hit escape, :W, allows me to write it, and then again if I do :Q, I have quit out of it. And now I can see that here is my htaccess file. Oops, except for I misnamed it, so I'm going to move .htaccess to htaccess with 2 S's and properly name it. And then I'm going to chown it to Apache www. Oh, I don't own it. Apparently. Yeah, that's me. Okay, so now, whoop. ls-al. I can see that it's an htaccess file. It's owned by Apache. I got to restart the service. And so now that's going to be my post name. So now if I go to posts and I go my first post, you can see here that now I've got this nice little user-friendly name instead of that ID-related thing. Now what may happen is you're going to end up with this my first post not found. You're going to get a 404 error. So what we need to do is we need to go out to our server. This one's actually going to be in the Etsy folder. So we're going to go to cd/etsy/httpd, and we are going to get into the config.d, conf.d, oops, sorry. And go into the conf.d folder. I'm sorry, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to actually go to the conf folder, and we're going to change the httpd.conf. Oh, this sudo, we're going to do a vi. And now I've got a nice big ugly file. What I'm going to look for is, if I do //D directory, I should get down to something that looks like this, which is basically where it sets up permissions. And I'm going to do a CW that allows me to change that. When I type CW, now I'm going to just type all. Here we did a directory /. Actually what we want is where the document root here is up at var www.html is really where we want to do it. So we've got option indexes, file symlinks. Here we go, allow override none. Lowercase c, lowercase w, capital A, LL, escape w, escape well actually don't, I'm sorry, escape w to write, then :Q without the escape to quit, restart, refresh, and now we see our post with a much nicer address. So remember that you've got to go in this up here. Whoop. What directory am I on? I am in httpd configuration. You have to go to the httpd.conf. You have to edit that file. Got to make sure that you allow it to do its do an override. And basically what that says is that up at the top level, it's got certain settings. And this is where that override allows it to actually read that .htaccess file that you just created. Once that's done, then it's going to allow you to go ahead and use your new rewrite rule that you created, which basically says that I don't want to use that. If I see this, it's going to actually do a little forwarding on the back end and take care of that. So we have now created a post. We've got a nice little pretty, and we want to keep this. This is by far the best way to do stuff. Keep that as your permalink, and now we get to see our post. We can even see like our prior posts that we had in there, and that's pretty much it. I guess there's not a whole lot. Or we could see it over here, so I could see my first post. I can flip back to it, and all is well. So we're actually seeing some, starting to see some stuff come together here. We've got an article. It's SEO friendly. We could have done something nice like scheduled it for later, and you're going to see here SEO posts. It's going to tell you how many have got a good SEO score if you keep the Yoast SEO plugin shown here. So there you go. That will do it. That's our first article. Go ahead and clean it up. Hopefully you did a little more than copy and paste your text into it. And once you're done, you can go ahead and post that. Shoot us a link. Send us to info@developernerd.com or post a comment up on the website. Love to see your post. Do a shout out where we can, maybe throw you out on Twitter or something like that, so that we can do what we can to spread the word. That'll do it for today. Hope you had a good one. We will talk to you tomorrow.